Here's how I turned a $1 garage sale crocheted blanket into this cute bell-sleeved sweater. I first folded the blanket in half in order to cut both the front and back layers at the same time. I made sure to fold it lengthwise because I wanted those cute tassels to end up on the edges of the sleeves. I then placed a sweater that I already owned and fit me well at the top of the fold line. I cut through both layers of the blanket at about a 45-degree angle to create that cute bell shape, and then cut along the sweater's waistline, following that slight curve, leaving extra space for a seam allowance, or let's be real, any mistakes. To make sure I made the exact same cut on the other side, I measured against my sample sweater to figure out where I would need to fold the fabric in half and made a small cut to mark the spot. I then folded the sweater in half and finished cutting the other side of the bodice, or the torso part. Now, if I continued cutting here around the sleeve, I wouldn't have been able to have those cute tassels because this blanket was just so much longer than my total wingspan. So I decided to cut an armhole here instead, and again follow the curve of my sample sweater, and I'll attach a sleeve here later. I also ended up cutting off the attached sleeve on this side so I could use it as a pattern for the second sleeve, and then cut around it at the other tasseled end of the blanket. My takeaway here is that if you find a blanket with tassels that match your wingspan, swoop it up because you could totally skip this step and save yourself from reattaching the sleeves. Anyways, after a brief moment of crochet snow angels, it was time to sew. Because the cut fabric is now super prone to fraying, I use these big ol' binder clips to hold the edges together. I then serged all the seams together, which to my surprise actually worked out pretty well, despite all the loops and holes in the fabric. But it did take a bit of maneuvering to guide the lumps and bumps of crochet material under my serger's blade. And a couple spots did turn out a little wonky. So to attach those gaps a bit better, I went back over the funky spots with a straight stitch on my sewing machine. I then cut a slit in the neckline to check the size, and was totally beside myself with joy that it actually fit. So I finished attaching the sleeves by sewing the wrong sides together, making sure the sleeve seam and bodice seam lined up. And oh my goodness, this part was tricky because sewing together a big wadded up bunch of fabric felt like a very complicated puzzle that would end with me sewing the sleeves shut. But somehow it worked out, and I finally hemmed the neckline, this time using brown thread to blend better with the blanket colors. I kind of wish I used brown thread on this entire project, but what are you gonna do? Anyways, I folded the neckline inwards and sewed a straight stitch across the top, using my little thread snippers to help push the fabric under my sewing machine's presser foot. And there she is, the final top, so flowy and so fun to dance around in. I'm utterly thrilled with how it turned out. Let me know if you love this top as much as I do by letting me know in the comments or liking this video. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye!